What is going on, 12s? Welcome back to another episode of the Always Compete Seahawks podcast. My name is Sam. Thank you for joining me today. The Senior Bowl wrapped up yesterday. I believe the American team won. I don't really remember the names of the teams. I just remember the I think I don't even remember what color won, frankly, but I know some team won at the end. Jack Besh had a really good week. Um, he might be getting talked about here. What I'm going to be doing today is doing a mock draft where I will only be picking players that played in the Senior Bowl, and then also I figured, hey, let's go check out some mock drafts and let's see what else we got. Let's see if we got any fun mock drafts to look at and talk about for um for after the Senior Bowl. There's gonna be a lot of buzz about guys rising, guys falling. We're gonna be talking all about it. So let's hop right in to the mock. Sliding down the board here, we're gonna see some big risers. PFF already has their board kind of adjusted. Yeah, Gray Zabel, who had a huge week, is now up to 26. Walter Nolan, who had a huge week, up to 16. Uh, Mike Green up to 10. Yeah, they're the receivers going early in this mock. Egbuka, Burden, and Tet all off the board by the time we get up. Yeah, Will Johnson going high. Shadur going to Cleveland. Okay, interesting. A lot of risers here. Tyler Warren's on the board. I would pick him, but unfortunately, he didn't play in the Senior Bowl. Guys that did play in the Senior Bowl, Shamar Stewart played in the Senior Bowl. He had a really great week. 6'6", 290. That's a big ass dude. He had a really good week at the Senior Bowl. Guy definitely to watch there. Armand Membu, picked him in my first mock. He had another solid week. He was also at the Senior Bowl, so I could pick him again if I'm being honest. We'll see. Gray Zabel though is the guy that everybody left the Senior Bowl talking about. Played left tackle every single snap last year, projects to kick into guard, and played guard and center and was voted the best player from either team for the week. He had a ridiculous week in one-on-ones, just matching up with so many like legitimate players and really dominating. This is kind of, where smaller school guys go and they get that hype. I remember a few years ago, I believe it was Quinn Miners went to the Senior Bowl and he had a great week and he went from like being a no name to going up to the third round. Now he's one of the highest paid guards in football for the Broncos. Zabel is definitely a guy to watch. Josh Connerly, another guy that had a good week. Everybody saw the video of him getting bulldozed by Mike Green, but he he had a huge week. He had a huge week, and that one snap did not define him. He was voted, I believe, the best offensive lineman on the other team that did not have Zabel on it. So Connerly is another name to watch. He makes a lot of sense as kind of a smaller, quicker tackle that could fit into a zone scheme that um, Clint Kubiak might run. Trey Amos had a really good week. He actually left early. I don't remember if it was because of an injury or because of performance, but he did leave early. Donovan Izaraku, TJ Sanders, like I said, Jack Besh was voted the MVP of the entire game. He's going to be a really interesting name to watch for the Seahawks. I don't even know if he'll be on the board anymore, but still, name to watch. What I'm going to do here at pick 18 is I'm not going to take Membu. I think that'd be boring. Hmm. Hmm. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to go Shamar Stewart here. He's just a little big. I think he's a little big. I man, this is hard. Guys, this is hard. This is what I do is hard. All right. Can we get some respect out there? This is hard. This is hard to do. Um if I could trade, I would. If I could trade, I would. I don't think they take Zabel at 18. I just don't. Smaller school guys, they have really good senior bowls and then they fall. Christian Haynes, who the Seahawks fans are very familiar with, didn't have a great rookie year. I'm still a big Christian Haynes believer. I'm a UConn guy, a big Christian Haynes believer. He was great for us. I just think he needs to get stronger and he'll be fine. He was voted the best player. He was voted the best offensive lineman for his team at the Senior Bowl. Ends up really falling way further than he expected. Um, and Seahawks him in the third round. Zabel is a guy who I think that'll happen to. I'm gonna go Josh Connerly. I'm gonna go smaller tackle, might fit the role. And I think you could kick someone into guard and have Connerly play tackle for you, or kick Connerly into guard even if you're gonna go for a kind of a smaller guard look. Go Josh Connerly in the first round. Had a good Senior Bowl week there. We're gonna see some guys go off. Gray Zabel, I believe, went somewhere in the 30s. So Jack Besh and Savion Williams, two wide receivers that I do like, went off just before us. Besh is a guy that I really like for his contested catch ability. He had a quote that kind of went viral where he's like, everybody calls him 50-50 balls from either 75-25 balls. That's just what he does. Darian Porter had a really good week. Loveland falls to the second round, which is interesting. Donovan Izaraku, Trey Amos, Gray Zabel goes to the Commanders. Yeah. Okay. Shamar Stewart goes to the Chargers. Armand Membu to the Broncos. Who we got on the board? Who we got on the board? Xavier Restrepo had a good week. 5'10, 198. I like him. I do like him. Uh, Darius Alexander had a really good week. 6'4", 310. He's a big guy. A lot of people were hyping him up. Let's talk about the tackles for a second. I mean, not tackles. Let's talk about quarterbacks for a second. This week was not a great week for quarterbacks. Jalen Milrow, who I thought that the Senior Bowl was going to be a make or break for his draft stock, really hurt him. Senior Bowl really hurt him. He really struggled being decisive, being accurate, being on time, and playing well in structure. He flashed his athleticism, but one play that really stuck out to me was there was a fourth down late in the game where he's in the open field and everybody's talking about his athleticism, and it's a 4th and 5, and he's got space and he gets tackled by a corner in the open field, and he's not even close. Riley Leonard had a good week. Jackson Dart had a decent week. The game he was pretty rough, but apparently in throughout the week he was decent. Gabriel is a guy that when I was watching him, I was really concerned with how systematic they had him play. I did not see him really have to process anything. A lot of quick screens, a lot of quick slants. I'm nervous about how he would fit. Um, Riley Leonard probably had the best week of any quarterback. Tyler Show had a good week. Seth Hennigan did fairly well, I thought. I just don't know if quarterback is going to be the point where is going to be at the point where the Seahawks are looking. Maybe they really like Gabriel and he can step in and play right away. I like Gabriel's arm. I really found he had a lot of zip. I thought his size caused him some issues though. Got a few passes batted. Um, Leonard is a guy that is played heavy in running, and I just don't know if he's going to be the type of guy that I would trust to really be a franchise quarterback. I'm gonna leave the receiver. I'm gonna leave the quarterbacks for now. I'm gonna leave them. Um, I I mean, if we're going by guys that had a good Senior Bowl week, Elijah Arroyo. That's what I'm going with. Elijah Arroyo, I thought had a really good week. I remember him catching a pass in the end zone on a 2-point conversion where he went up over a corner and got it, and I was like, man, that's the type of fit that the Seahawks need on contested catches. And I think Arroyo is a name that I would really like for the Seahawks. I liked him before. I think he has big riser potential at 6'4", 245, prototypical receiving build, 35 receptions on 47 targets, 590 yards, 7 touchdowns. I like him a lot. I went him. Harold Fannin is another guy that I like, but I was really taken by Arroyo. I liked how he looked. I think he might be a more finished product and a more sure thing than Fannin, even though I think Fannin probably has a higher ceiling in general. Down here in the third round is maybe where you take a swing on a QB. Gabriel went off the board to the Raiders. That's a that's a Pete pick, isn't it? That's such a Pete pick. Got Tet in the first, got Darian Porter in the second, and got Gabriel in the third, and got Wyatt Millum. All right, good for Pete, I guess. Looking around, Azaria Thomas was a guy who I thought looked fine. Tez Johnson, a guy that I liked. Frankly, though, I see Deion Walker down here, 6'6", 345. He's just gigantic. I think he even measured in bigger than that. Like, even if he's very raw, I still feel like at his size, you could plop him over the center and no one's going to move him. No one's going to move him back. And I think his potential is really sky high. And he, in one-on-ones, man, I just saw him walk people back and like he's standing there and it looks like 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 two football players in a trench coat instead of one man. So give me Deion Walker with my last pick to wrap up this like little 3 round Senior Bowl only mock. Big change for me, no quarterback. That's the big change for me. Not getting a quarterback is they've been PFF doesn't like the draft. Maybe it's because I can only take players that were in the Senior Bowl, but I thought all these guys played well. I thought Arroyo especially would be a guy that I was really like, man, I like this guy. Maybe my tight end judgment isn't great because I a few years ago I'm like, man, I think Brevin Jordan's the truth coming out of Miami. I really like Josh Connerly. I think he's got the prototypical size to either play at tackle or kick into guard in a kind of zone scheme. Arroyo is a guy who really flashed with his hands, and Deion Walker is just a freak of nature. And I mean, I don't even know if he'll drop to 82. I think his potential might really catch scouts' attention. But these are some big Senior Bowl risers that I saw and guys that I would like to see the Seahawks to take. I would like them to take Gray Zabel. I don't know if he'll be picked at 18 necessarily. I would like Membu a lot, but I would probably pick Membu again if I'm being honest, but I don't want to be repetitive and just be like, "Oh, give me Membu." And like every single mock draft I'm just taking Armand Membu in the first round. Shamar Stewart's a guy I really liked last week. Trey Amos, Izaraku. I don't really know if corner is a necessarily a need, but we'll see. Walter Nolan's a guy that I like too. Just gonna be honest, I really like what I saw from him. So that is my Senior Bowl mock. And now what we are going to do is some let's go check out some NFL mock drafts. Let's check out some mocks because we're gonna have a few new ones. Let's go ahead and let's check out this one from NFL.com from 2 days ago. Eric Edholm. I don't recognize this guy's name. I know of Bucky Brooks. I know of Daniel Jeremiah. I don't think I know of Eric Edholm, but maybe he will have an interesting mock. Uh, NFL mock draft 1.0, Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders to New York, a top 5 tight end. That's the headline. Let's see what we got here. Abdul Carter 1. This is a bit of the sense I've gotten from I don't know. It's like it's gonna be Carter, it's gonna be Cam Ward, in my opinion. I don't think they're gonna take Shadur. I think Shadur is too. I don't think he's intangible enough to be a number one pick. I think Cam Ward is. I think Cam Ward's arm is significantly stronger, which I think is a massive thing. But I don't think Travis Hunter. When people say a generational talent, we're not going to pass on a generational talent. If we're being honest, I don't think Travis Hunter is a generational corner. I mean, he's a generational two-way player. But no one's going to be using him as a two-way player in the NFL. I think Travis Hunter is a great corner. I don't think he's generational. I don't think he's like a Jalen Ramsey. I don't think he's going to be as good as Jalen Ramsey, frankly. But I think that in general, Abdul Carter probably looks like the best straight player in this class, which is why I think he'll probably go 2 to Cleveland. Maybe I'll end up doing a full NFL mock in the future. But for right now, I'm going to leave it at, I'm just going to cover it a little bit. He has Cam Ward going to the Giants. I think the Giants are absolutely going to take a quarterback, if anything, because it gives Brian Dable a reason if they suck this year to be like, hey, keep me for one more year, please. Keep me for one more year. Um, so yeah, Mason Graham to New England. Yeah, it's probably who they're going to go if um if Carter and Hunter are off the board. So that makes sense. He's probably the third best non-quarterback. Um, Tyler Warren to Jacksonville. Maybe. I don't I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I think Warren in the top 5 is a little bit rich. A little bit rich. He said it. Tad rich for me. I have been saying this forever. I in my family, Me and my brother, we made a slideshow that is like where we thought coaches were going to go. We played coach matchmaker. I had Pete going to the Raiders before all the Raiders stuff happened. By the way, like before the reports came out about Pete to the Raiders, I predicted that. And then we did a mock draft right after, and I said if Pete goes to the Raiders, he's taking Ashton Genty at pick 6. And there it is. I think Ashton Genty is going to be a Raider. I just really do. Pete needs to run the football. It's in his blood. He can have a guy that can fully carry an offense. I think that makes so much sense. Shadur at 7 to the Jets, whatever. I don't think he's going to fall that far, so I'm not going to put that much stock in it. I frankly, I don't know if he gets to 6. I don't know if Pete's going to pass on him either, but I have a tough time believing that he's going to get through these three really quarterback needy teams in the top 3, and then the Raiders at 6. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Jalen Walker to Carolina. I tend to think that where is he? Michael Williams is the better of the two as far as like pure raw potential goes. Tet McMillan to New Orleans. I don't know. I have a weird feeling that Tet is going to slide. I don't think Tet McMillan is like a generational number one wide receiver prospect. I'm not saying that to be a good prospect you have to be generational. I just don't think that Tet McMillan is crazy good. I think like last year when Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors, like that draft class for receiver was ridiculous. I don't really see Tet as like a guy that's going to be like a 1,500 yard type player. I think he's gonna be great. I don't, but I've seen a lot of people on Twitter be like, "Oh man, if we could just get Ted McMillan, this offense is different." And I'm like, I don't know if Ted McMillan is that much better than Luther Burden or Egbuka, in my opinion. Will Campbell, we all know that the Bears are going to go offensive line. Armand Membu, I would hate this. I love Membu, man. I don't know. There's something about him that just like when I watch him, he's got a factor when I watch him. And his versatility on the offensive line, that would kill me if he went to San Fran. Tyler Booker has been a big riser in a lot of these mocks. I don't know. I think his size is really scary. It's scary in a good and bad way. Scary for, as in like, if he's lined up against you, he's gonna bully your ass. But then also like, big guys get hurt. Big guys can't run. Big guys pull something. He's really big, like really big, and I'm concerned about how he plays at that size. Kelvin Banks is a guy I really like. I hope he falls to Seattle. I don't think he will, but Kelvin Banks is a guy I really like. That's a good pick for them. Eman Worry is a guy that's been pretty polarizing. Like you saw in PFF, PFF had him in like the 80s on their mock rankings, but he has the Colts taking Eman Worry at 14, Shamar Stewart to the Falcons at 15. It's a good pick. Already saw Michael Williams, Izaraku, and time for the Seahawks reveal Jahad Campbell. This is a guy I've seen. This is a guy I've seen the Seahawks take in a few mocks now. Frankly, I have not had enough time to really get a look at Jahad Campbell and see how he is. I haven't done a ton of work on him. Let's see what we got here with Jahad Campbell. 6'2" prospect grade will eventually be an average starter. That's the type of guy you take at 19. 6'3", 244 junior. Campbell has the build and traits of an Alabama linebacker, but might need to upgrade in some areas. Doesn't play with early instincts or play rec and is inconsistent in challenging blockers and leveraging run fits. Uses his speed and athleticism to help mitigate mistakes and get to the football and at a relatively high rate. Rangy, consistent open field tackler who excels on third down. Um, as a fluid blitzer and impressive cover talent. Elite traits and athletic talent will be tantalizing. Best way to utilize him might be a full-time 3-4 rush linebacker. He could be more proactive instead of rear. Okay. So that's interesting. If you're talking about using him as an off-ball pass rush linebacker, that's kind of what the Seahawks need. They do need pass rush on third down. I frankly I am comfortable with Knight and assuming Ernest Jones comes back. I'm fine with those two. But Campbell as an outside guy would be interesting. I have to do more work on him because I've seen him in a few mocks now. I got to learn more about him. Matthew Golden's gonna be a big riser for Texas. I'm just being honest. Get ready for this guy to go off above guys like Burden. He has him going off above guys like Burden and all that. Receivers are weird. Like the Commanders fell in love with Jahan Dotson a few years ago and picked him ahead of some more highly ranked guys. Receivers are strange. Guys will take the receiver that they like and they will just tell you to F off. He is Will Johnson at 21. That's crazy. Um, I like Johnson. I mean, he tackles. I've really heard this tackling problem is bad. But he just looks really steady, man. Derek Harmon's a name I like out of Oregon, going to the Vikings. Gray's able to Houston. That's a good pick for them. Donovan, I swear to Christ, if the Niners get Membu and the Rams get Donovan Jackson, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be so upset. Savaiinaea to the Ravens. Mike Green is not gonna fall to 28. Mike Green is like the perfect Lions player, like scrappy, high motor. He will not make it to 28. He will be off probably before the Seahawks even pick. Mike Green had a huge week at the Senior Bowl. James Pierce is a guy I could really see taking a tumble. Um, I don't know. I think he was really hyped up and he kind of got hurt this year and there's some questions about his strength and like can he like win against NFL tackles? That's something I would worry about. He has Luther Burden falling all the way to 31. He has Egbuka falling to the second round. Azaria Thomas to the Chiefs with the last pick. So that's just one mock we'll take a look at today. The only mock we'll take a look at. But let me know what you guys think. And who do you want the Seahawks to take? Who either at a big Senior Bowl week or in general, any names that you're just kind of falling in love with that you're finding out about? I will obviously keep you guys up with the Senior Bowl stuff and some draft stuff. And once the combine rolls around, I'm gonna have a good time talking about that. And of course, I'll find some videos to make in the meantime. Maybe I'll do a full NFL mock. Let me know if you guys have any videos that you want me to make, and I will gladly listen to any recommendations. So in the meantime, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy your day. And go Hawks. Please subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.